Hello, my name is Taylor Lindsay. I go by Taylor Lindsay, also aka the Plant Plug. I wanted to submit this audition tape while reading the prompts that you have for the questions, so let's get started. I am 33 years old and I am from Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I've been all over the city as far as where I reside, but I'm currently in smack dab in the middle of South Central and I am 33 years old, about to be 34. So let's get started with the questions. Can you tell me about the work you do? So I run the Plant Plug Los Angeles. It is an urban farming, education-based nursery plant shop. Did you always want to do this type of work? So the short answer is yes, and the long answer is not quite. So the yes aspect is I always wanted to own my own business. I've had an entrepreneurial spirit since I was a child. I used to read a ton of magazines about it. I used to read business books. I used to read books about recycling, saving the earth, environmentalism, and it's always been it's always been an interest of mine. So the interest got stronger and stronger. Actually, I was on the fast track to become a personal trainer until the corona shut down. So what was gardening, family gardening and farming last 2 years ago turned from a passion project into a full-fledged business. Was there ever a time when you were a child or in college and realized there weren't many other people of color working in the field you were interested in? So I will say that when it came to personal training and fitness, bodybuilding is a world sport, so there's always been a lot of diversity and a lot of opportunity all over the world. But when I transitioned to plants, no, I didn't see a lot of opportunities from the people that own the soil companies to even the seeds. There wasn't a lot of opportunity and diversity when it came to seeing many people of color. But I will say, as of recently, since gardening has been on the rise, I've seen a lot more people of color start their own businesses around plants, which is very amazing to see. Were you ever concerned because of that it may be a little difficult for you to get a job in your chosen field? It has always been a concern of mine, especially being a woman of color, about getting a job in my field. I have gotten much rejection, especially in the supplement industry when it came to fitness. But when it comes to plants, I've yet to embark on trying to get any job, whether it's Home Depot or even in a privately owned nursery, because the amount of rejection that I've experienced over my lifetime, just professionally, even if I wanted to mop floors, it's been difficult. And I have applied for jobs to mop floors. I'm not making that up. So it's still a concern of mine until I've seen differently. It's going to continue to be a concern of mine. All I can do is give my best when it comes to putting my hat in to be considered. Have you ever had an experience where being a person of color has been an obstacle in your career? Yes, I have. I've had openly shared discrimination when it came to being a person of color in my field that I have had to go up to HR about, unfortunately, as far as moving up within a company I'm already hired in. Another thing I go by, which I'm not 100% sure of, but I'm sure has happened, is I've received many rejections because of, especially as a woman of color, in fields that I wanted to get into. Now, when it came to my career as a business owner and a plant shop owner, I've yet to see that, but that's one of the benefits of running my own business. How has your perspective, life experience as a person of color played a part in your professional life? Has it been a benefit to you? So I will say that I'm all for leveling the playing field, and I'm not going to say that it's been a benefit to me as far as being a person of color, being that there's so much disenfranchised, lack of opportunity, as well as, like I've said, wealth distribution, including education. Knowledge is a form of wealth. It's a form of power. So it has not necessarily been a benefit to me. But as far as my life experience has played a part in my professional life, absolutely. I will say it's made me very apprehensive to apply to some places because of press that has come out when it came to their political beliefs and their views, and also the discrimination that has come up. I'm not going to name any companies in particular, but this has been such a shining light on how a lot of companies have dealt with discrimination, not only in the workplace, but as a company as a whole when it comes to their worldviews. So it does keep me wanting to put more energy into my community as far as seeing more professional companies, businesses come up when it comes to people of color. But that's pretty much how it's played a part in my professional life, is when it comes down to it, to share the resources that have been given to me. Experience where seeing someone that looked like you in a job you wanted helped you get closer to realizing your dream. So talk about that moment. I still have those moments till this day. Whenever I see a person of color, particularly one with freckles, on a commercial or in print, or having their business highlighted by some form of media, it just makes me feel as if I can get closer, not really depending on what field they're in, but mostly just getting that type of recognition. It's pretty amazing to see. I've been like this since I was a kid. I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me growing up, especially with the freckles. But I was watching a commercial, I think for Target recently, or it was something a little more higher end, not necessarily Target. And there was this beautiful light. She was about my complexion, a little bit lighter, and she had all this big natural hair and freckles, and she was just sitting there. I think she was drinking coffee. I don't remember what the commercial was for, but it just fills my heart every day, and I can't really explain the feeling that kind of washes over me when it comes to seeing somebody that looks like me on television or in a newspaper, or even in a storefront, and I see somebody. It's like a mirror image, and it makes me really excited to think that I can build up a career to a point where I get that level of notoriety. Aside from the money, who cares, right? It's just, and then that makes me more enthralled to do it for somebody younger or older, it doesn't matter, that sees themselves in me. Has there ever been a time when you leaned on your professional community for support? It could be having a mentor or going through a difficult time. So I would say that I'm still doing that. I have really difficult times during winter. This is my first full winter in business, and it slows down a lot. And I did put the word out to my community that I was having a hard time. I got a ton of encouraging statements. That's a great way to support a small business owner, is not necessarily just buying their stuff, is just saying, hey, I see what you're doing, keep it up. I don't particularly have a mentor. I have people that I know that have started their own businesses, whether it be landscaping, gardening, or grass cutting. And I did reach out to them, asking just about what else can I do. And they've been a big, strong support, and I'm still building my network when it comes to the plant world. So, do you feel optimistic when you think about your professional future? Absolutely. So I turned out I had an old LinkedIn account, and let me tell you, seeing that website and the development and the content and also the layout that's now is so exciting. So I'm going to soak it all up and take it all in. My professional future is just developing my career and using resources in order to educate myself on what I can do to help grow. It's that simple. So I'm very optimistic, as you can see. What change would you like to see in the world for the next generation of Black career builders? So when it comes to the world, I will say, as far as early education for the kids, for the children, for anybody of grade school age, especially in America and the public school systems, financial literacy and also the opportunity of career building being instilled early on within public education. How private institutions teach their children is much different, but depending on how much you earn as a parent, it can be increasingly difficult to get what one would deem quality education. And even in my age, when I did go to school, we never talked about things like this growing up, and there wasn't a lot of opportunity for kids going to public school, especially kids that came from neighborhoods that I still live in. So also more free resources and more equity, as far as not necessarily programs like EOE, or even, what was that program they had in the early 90s? Affirmative action, a lot less of that, because that can create tension in the workplace. So I've seen it. So for the next generation of Black career builders too, as far as them individually, is take advantage of the free resources that you have. Social media, if you have a phone, you have a computer in your pocket, and take advantage of those, especially if you want to get your career to a place that you'd like to see it. Thank you for the opportunity for the audition.